scope of an already overburned PSW workforce.
Coming up, how PSWs will be allowed to administer medication.
Raptor rumors? We got them. We'll tell you how Toronto could factor into this Kyrie Irving to Dallas deal. And the Flames and Canucks will suit up tonight as the NHL is back. Sports 45.
Gold stocks were mostly lower on Bay Street, which fell 129 points, even with gold futures higher. The Dow dropped 35, and it's a changing of the guard at the weekend box office. Business at 56.
City News Time, 5:31.
Traffic and weather together on the ones now, brought to you by TSC and Chopper 680. Here's Kyle Market.
We have a closure of Jean Street north of Bloor. Let me see the exact boundaries here. It's Jean Street from Ardagh to Colbeck, and it's because of a collision investigation. Looks like a pedestrian may have been struck here. We've got an SUV stopped in the southbound lane, surrounded by police tape, and some articles of clothing strewn about. So if you're traveling Jean Street north of Bloor, you're going to be rerouted here for about a 3-block section as this investigation continues. So it's actually not too bad in terms of traffic around this area. Delays, I mean. There's not too much of a backup trying to get around this. There's some side streets to the east that you can take as north-south alternates. But we've got 401 delays, westbound volume from Markham to Kennedy, Express and Collectors. Watch out approaching Islington Collectors. We do have a crash in the right lane, but volume goes straight through from Leslie, alternately Express and Collectors to west of the 410. On the eastbound 401 is slow approaching Dixon to Victoria Park Express and to Kennedy Collectors. Approaching Morningside on the transfer into the Express. We've got the right lane blocked and then the left lane. It's all because of a collision. You find it a little bit slow if you're taking that transfer, and then into Durham region, it's busy Brock Road to east of Salem. The 680 Traffic Center, Carrie Prunskis.
MTO is telling us about a new problem on the westbound QEW. It's on the ramp to Walker's Line. The right lane is blocked with a stalled vehicle. Busy on the westbound Gardner QEW combination from west of the DVP to west of Strawn, from the 427 to west of Quadra, then from Ford Drive on and off to Brant. We still have a stalled vehicle on the eastbound QEW. It's on the ramp to Winston Churchill, blocking the right lane. Pretty busy on the eastbound QEW through Burlington. And then we have more volume through Mississauga Road and from Cawthron to Dixie. On city streets, northbound Bayview approaching Post Road. 2 left lanes are still blocked for vehicle fire cleanup. Traffic is at a crawl from north of Eglinton. Elevate your style with a stunning 3-row diamond ring from Graziella at TSC. Shop now and save up to 35% at tsc.ca. Today's shopping choice. And now with the forecast, here's Jason Fraser.
Mainly clear right now across the GTA, and we're going to slowly start to see temperatures declining as the sun is officially setting right now across the GTA. Overnight, we got to be worried about these winds that are going to be kicking up to potentially 45 kilometers per hour. That's going to bring the wind chill value down to around -10. -2 degrees right now in Pearson. Overnight low, -4 degrees.
This is City News.
We begin in Ottawa, where we're hearing new details of the offer the federal government is planning to put forward to premiers at tomorrow's working meeting to land a new health care agreement.
This comes as the death toll in Syria and Turkey is now topped 3,000. More on that in a moment.
For City News Parliament Hill reporter Cormac McSweeney joins us with details from the federal government.
The deal on the table is for 10 years and is really 2 separate agreements. The first is a more general increase to the Canada Health Transfer, and the second will be for those separate bilateral deals with each province. Premiers have been pushing for the feds to increase their share of health spending from 22 to 35%, although the feds dispute the figures. Now, I don't have the exact dollar figures for each offer, but a senior government official tells me there will be conditions for new cash, including ensuring the money is spent on the public health system and not for provinces to expand private health care. It's something Angela Priocannon with the Nurses Union of Ontario has been calling for.
To ensure that funding goes towards increased staffing, improving patient.
Canada's fastest growing companies. Visit unitetoday.ca.
It's time, 5:41.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by Specsavers. In Chopper 680, here's Kyle Hawkins.
And I was just flying over a closure of Jane Street north of Bloor from Colbeck to Ardagh, and that's because of a collision investigation at the Jane Street and Harshaw intersection. In the middle of this closure, looks like a pedestrian was struck by a white SUV, which stayed on the scene. But now they're investigating. Police had a drone flying over this area as part of the traffic services investigation here. So avoid Jane Street north of Bloor while they work on this. And we've got some 401 issues. On the eastbound 401 is busy from the 427 to Victoria Park Express to Kennedy Collectors. Getting word from the MTO that the problem on the eastbound 401 transfer into the collectors, which transfer was that? It was the collector to express transfer by Morningside that had a lane blocked. No longer, but the collision here is still being worked on. It's just been moved into the collector lanes themselves. These 401 at Morningside in the collectors. Left lane is still blocked. There's no delay here, though. It's busy into Durham region from Brock Road to east of Salem. On the west 401, delays approaching Markham Road Express, Brimley Collectors to Kennedy. Approaching Islington Collectors, we get the right lane blocked. No delay yet because of that, but it's busy across Toronto past that from Leslie. Alternately Express at Collectors past Islington to Dixon. And volume 427 to west to the 410 in the Collectors. From the 680 Traffic Center, Carrie Prunskis.
You'll find a slow go on the southbound 400 from Finch on to mainly the westbound 401 ramp. And we have delays on the southbound 404 DVP from Finch to York Mills. Traffic is slow on the westbound Gardner from just west of the DVP to west of Strawn. And watch out for a stalled vehicle on the westbound QEW. It's on the ramp to Walker's line. The right lane is blocked. Slow go westbound QEW, first from the 427 to west of Contra. Then busy sections from Ford Drive to about Trafalgar. You get a break for a while, then it slows again from Bronte to Grant. On city streets, northbound Bayview approaching Post Road. The left turn lane and the left lane are closed for vehicle fire cleanup. It's jammed from just north of Edmonton. Need new glasses? Visit Specsavers at Meadowvale Town Center to pick up 2 pairs of glasses for $99. Limited time offer. Conditions apply. See Specsavers.ca. And now with the forecast, here's Jason Fraser.
Right now, the majority of us across the GTA enjoying a beautiful sunset, and we're going to see mainly clear skies for the rest of tonight. We're going to drop down to right around -4 degrees tomorrow. We're going to see mainly cloudy skies. A few of us may end up seeing some sun peaks, but we could even see some rain as well as some freezing rain moving through as well. We'll top out near 6 degrees. Right now, we're sitting at -2 degrees. We're going down to -4 degrees tonight.
Now the Dynamic Funds Market Minute to the Business Center. Here's Ari Rabinovich.
A down day for the markets today. Slagena, the Bay Street Index, fell by 129 points, 0.6%, at 20,629 overall, with virtually every sector seeing losses today. And it was also the case for Wall Street, with the Dow Jones dropping 35 points. The S&P 500 fell by 0.6%, but the Nasdaq was the poorest performer. It fell by 1%, 120 points lower. We saw gold futures up today by $3 at $1,879 the ounce, and oil was slightly higher by 1% to just over $74 US per barrel, still floating around the lowest price for the year so far. Now we saw the loonie drop by about 1/4 cent at 74.36 cents US. Natural gas ended up higher by about 2%. At the City News Business Center, I'm Ari Urbanovich.
Concerned about the risk of inflation? A financial advisor can help. See why advice matters now more than ever. Visit dynamic.ca/advice to learn more. Changes being made to your job. 3 key facts you must know with Lior Samfiru from employmentlawyer.ca.
Number 1, it is illegal for your employer to make significant changes to your pay, job duties, hours of work, even a temporary layoff. Fact number 2, if you don't protest the change in writing, you will be seen to have accepted it. Finally, when your employer makes these changes, they're essentially terminating your employment and you're owed a full severance, as much as 24 months' pay. I can help you get the severance package you're owed. My team has helped tens of thousands of employees pursue their constructive dismissal cases when changes were made to their job. Before you accept any change or put in protest, contact me and discover why my employment law firm is the most positively reviewed firm in Canada.
Contact employment lawyer Lior Samfiru today. Get the advice you need and the compensation you deserve. Visit employmentlawyer.ca. That's employmentlawyer.ca.
Watch, listen, connect. This is City News 680 everywhere.
A clear sky in downtown Toronto. We are at at 0, going down to an overnight low of -4. Good afternoon. I'm Slojiana Tibinzik.
And I'm James Monroe. Here's what's making news right now.
City News has learned the federal government is planning to put forward some kind of increase to the Canada Health Transfer when the Prime Minister and Premiers meet tomorrow. Premiers have been looking to the feds to increase their share of health spending from 22 to 35%. 3 people recovering from hypothermic conditions after falling through the ice near Hanlon's Point while skating today. The Toronto Police Marine Unit says
to actually see these people still on top of the ice is actually a miracle in itself.
And the death toll from this morning's earthquake in Turkey and Syria's climbed past 3,400 people. Those details are straight ahead.
Sports News, Alex.
James, the NBA trade deadline is coming up on Thursday afternoon, and ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski said this today.
A lot of the focus of the league right now is on Toronto to see who, if really any of those key players in Toronto are going to be really available. I think Toronto is talking on a number of players, but I think they're gauging what the market is. Masai Ujiri does not easily go off of guys he's drafted, developed, had a measure of success with.
Now, Wojnarowski says the deal sending Kyrie Irving from Brooklyn to Dallas is not official yet, as the Nets are trying to get a third team involved, maybe the Raptors. Another report this evening says Brooklyn has explored the possibility of acquiring Fred VanVleet for Spencer Dinwiddie and draft picks. Raptors will host San Antonio on Wednesday. The NHL back tonight. All-Star game is done. Thank goodness. And we have 6 games on the schedule, including the Islanders and Bo Horvat making his New York debut, and the Islanders in Philadelphia. Sportsnet's got the Flames and the Rangers at 7:30. Leafs in Columbus on Friday. Football news, Tom Brady says he'll take a year off and begin his broadcasting career with Fox in the fall of 2024. He made that announcement with Colin Cowherd today. Chiefs and Eagles are meeting the media tonight. They play Super Bowl 57 on Sunday in Glendale, Arizona. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca.
Louis Carnavelli here, president of Northern Financial Group, where company health and dental plans are still $55 a month per employee. That's right. After all these years, our rates haven't gone up. You can still get a complete company health and dental plan starting at just $55 a month. Our rates stay low because our pool of thousands of members continues to grow for even greater purchasing power. Why pay more? If you have 300 to 300 employees, join Canada's only $55 a month pool and start saving today. Visit northernfinancialgroup.ca.
Is this the sound of you shoveling your driveway? Or are you on a beach in the Caribbean? Are you topping up your windshield washer fluid? Or is the bartender topping up your sangria? And is that the call of a bird in Mexico? Or is it one of your kids asking for help finding their mittens? You get to decide, because with Air Canada and Air Canada Vacations, you can seize the sun in over 50 sunny destinations. See the hottest flight and vacation package offers at aircanada.com/sun.
City News Time, 5:49. During this Black History Month, City News 680 is digging into the Black history of this country and the events and people who helped to shape our society. City Simon Bennett tells us about Hockey Hall of Famer Herb Carnegie.
Herb Carnegie is regarded as the best black hockey player to never make the NHL. A star and junior, he told his story often. In 1938, his team was practicing the Maple Leaf Guard. His coach showed him a man watching from the stands and said, "That's Conn Smythe, owner of the Maple Leafs." He says he'll give $10,000 to anyone who can turn Herb Carnegie white. He called the experience shattering. A solid pro career followed, but he really made a difference after playing. In the mid-50s, he founded Future Aces, one of the first hockey schools. The Future Aces Foundation still runs today. And last fall, a decade after his death, he finally was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. His daughter Bernice with a rousing speech at the ceremony.
We are responsible for making all areas of our lives more accepting and inclusive.
His legacy lives on. Bernice is co-owner of the PHF's Toronto 6. I'm Simon Bennett.
Traffic and weather together next. City News Time, 5:50.
It's almost time for the big game. And the big game calls for big deals. Lone Star has you covered with super specials all week long. You can dine in and get 2 pounds of wings and 2 buns for $39.99. Or order takeout and get 4 pounds of wings for $49.99 all week long. Lone Star's hand-breaded wings are sure to be a touchdown. And with 10 sauces and spices to choose from, the whole team will be happy. Place an order on Uber Eats or find a restaurant at lonestar.ca.
The Ontario Energy Board has recently seen an increase in energy scams. Scammers home visits and claim to be from the Ontario Energy Board, electric and natural gas companies, or the government. So be aware. Scammers are good. Need proof? Well, I'm not actually a person. I'm a robot named blah, blah, blah. Visit oeb.ca/scams to learn more.
City News Time 5:51. Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by TMS Clinics of Canada. In Chopper 680, your stop.
Well, it's always busy if you're taking northbound Bayview to head up to the 401 during rush hour. Today is excruciating because we have a vehicle fire cleanup still approaching Post Road right outside the Granite Club. The left turn lane and left lane blocked off. This vehicle caught fire in the 1 o'clock hour, it sounds like. Fire crews put it out rather quickly. It still has not been removed from the scene, though. Northbound Bayview is jammed from north of Eglinton up towards Post Road, where the two right lanes are open. Left turn lane and left lane are blocked off. We've got delays along the 401, along with a minor issue on the eastbound 401. First is typical volume 427 to Victoria Park Express and the Kennedy Collectors. Watch out at Morningside Collectors. The left lane is blocked for crash cleanup, but no delay there. Gets heavy into Durham region, but not too bad now. It's just slow from West Need to east of Salem. West 401 volume Markabout Express, Brinkley Collectors to Kennedy. The issue approaching Islington and the Collectors is cleared, so just volume from Leslie, alternating Express and Collectors to Dixon, and from the 427 off and on to west to the 410 Collectors. From the 680 Traffic Center, Gary Prunskis.
I'm looking at a new problem on the southbound 404. It's at Finch. It looks like two right lanes are blocked here because of a collision. Already busy on the southbound 404 from Finch onto the DVP to about York Mills. A slow go westbound on the Gardner. Traffic is jammed from the DVP to west of Strawn. Westbound on the QEW, MTO says that stalled vehicle on the ramp to Walker's Line, and that has now cleared. So we just have some volume delays on the westbound QEW from the 427 to west of Cawthron, from Fort Drive to Trafalgar, and then from Burloak to Brant. Eastbound on the QEW on the ramp to Trafalgar, the right lane is now blocked because of a stalled vehicle. Another stalled vehicle reported on the eastbound QEW ramp to Winston Churchill. That's blocking the right lane as well. As for delays along this route, it's busy from Mississauga Road on and off to about Dixie. Eastbound Gardner, slow over the Humber Bridge, and then busy again from Spadina onto the Jarvis ramp. Did you know 1 in 5 Canadians struggle with their mental health? Discover how TMS Clinics of Canada can help you or a loved one. For a free consultation, visit tmsofcanada.com. And now with the extended forecast, here's Jason Fraser.
Well, Kerry, we could see just a few clouds developing across the GTA, but no rain is expected. It's going to be a chilly night. We're going to be going down to -4 degrees, but manufacturer of the winds is going to feel closer to -10. We could see some winds gusting up to 45 kilometers per hour. Then for tomorrow, we're going to see the rain return, and some of you could even see some freezing rain, especially towards the latter half of the day, as those temperatures are going to be going on the negative side. So by tomorrow afternoon, we're going to top out right around 6 degrees, but then tomorrow night we're going down to -3 degrees. For Wednesday, finally the sunshine returns. We'll top out at 3 degrees. Right now in Pearson, we're sitting at -2 degrees. Our overnight low tonight, -4.
Hear that? Riders know that sound, that purr, that rumble. It's the sound of clear road ahead, of waiting adventure, the sound of freedom. Riders reunite. It's always riding season at the Motorcycle Show. We're back at the Intercare Center. Exhibition Place, February 17th to 19th. Presented by NFP. See new bikes from major manufacturers and get ready to ride. Visit TorontoMotorcycleShow.ca for details.
When you need to know,
On the go.
we are following some breaking news from Queen's Park this hour. Our Richard Southern joins us live with what's happening. Breaking news that impacts you when and where it happens.
Toronto's #1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather.
This is City News 680. Everywhere.
Business is next.
Infinity Asset Solutions has been appointed as liquidator of Imperial Carpet and Home. Final auction liquidation pricing. Everything 80 to 90% off. Nothing held back. The entire $15 million inventory 80 to 90% off. Designer collection of rugs and carpets, broadloom, area rugs, stair runners, everything. Sale on now. 1177 Caledonia Road, Toronto. Visit InfinityAssets.com. Watch for final auctions to follow at Imperial Carpet and Home.
Heart failure is one of the leading causes of hospitalization in Canada, and that number continues to rise. Through groundbreaking collaborative research, the Ted Rogers Centre for Heart Research is improving the lives of Canadians like ever.
For the last
last 33 years, I've been living with a rare genetic heart condition that can cause sudden cardiac death. But I have the best support to go the distance, thanks to my care team at UHM.
The center is creating a world free of heart failure. To learn more, go to tedrogersresearch.ca.
News time 5:56.
Now the business report, here's Ari Rabinovich.
Next gen of the week is off to a bit of a slow start, and to be fair, continuing from Friday's losses, all stemming from that better-than-expected jobs data in the U.S. And although it is good news for employment in the U.S., it really also means that the U.S. Federal Reserve might be more likely to hike interest rates. So we saw investors selling off in a sense. The Nasdaq dropped by 1%, the S&P 500 fell by 0.6% to 25 points, and the Dow Jones lost 35. And the U.S. Fed Chair Jerome Powell is expected to speak tomorrow in an interview and will likely point to signals of where the central bank might be headed. So investors will be paying very close attention. And Avatar, The Way of Water, has made nearly $2.2 billion worldwide at the box office. It's now fourth on the all-time top earnings list for films, with the first on the list being the original Avatar. Now, the sequel's 7-week streak of being number one for the weekend box office has ended. It's been dethroned this past weekend by M. Night Shyamalan's Knock at the Cabin, as well as 80 for Brady at number 2. We'll find out how all these films helped Cineplex when they report earnings tomorrow and give us an indicator of how theaters are doing coming out of the pandemic. Shares ended the day lower by about 0.3% on Bay Street, but that was just one of a few stocks on the TSX which saw losses. Overall, Bay Street fell 129.6% at 20,629, with virtually every sector seeing declines, especially that of materials and also of technology stocks. We saw commodities higher, though, with gold futures up by $3 at $1,880 per ounce. The price for oil at $74 US per barrel. It gained about 1% today, even though it's flirting with a 2-month low, and gas prices have dropped significantly over the past 3 days or so. The loonie, it fell by 1/4 cent at 74.36 cents US. And at the City News Business Center, I'm Ari Rabinovich.
Business is brought to you by Scotia iTrade.
Scotia iTrade is the stuff investors' dreams are made of. It's got everything you need to direct invest in one place. With a new mobile app offering quick access to real-time market research, personalized alerts, and more, you'll never snooze and lose on a market movement again. And for a limited time, get up to $2,000 and $6.99 stock and ETF pricing. For full terms and conditions, visit ScotiaITrade.com. Scotia iTrade, it's every investor's dream.
Sarah?
Yes, Callum?
Why do so many people get engaged on Valentine's Day?
Callum, do you really not know?
Is it because that chubby little angel baby shoots people with those liars?
Getting engaged on Valentine's Day says, you're not just the person I love right now, you're the person I'm going to love for the rest of my life.
Sarah, you're really smart.
Thanks, Callum. You're usually pretty smart, too.
Why did you say usually?
Chubby little angel baby.
Spence. Located in Vaughan, Scarborough, and Mississauga.
Checking the City News 680 regional weather conditions. In Markham, clear this hour and -2 degrees. Brampton clear -2. Mainly clear, -2 degrees in Oakville. Hamilton partly cloudy and +1. Downtown Toronto, it's clear and 0. We are going down to an overnight low of -4. And then tomorrow morning, partly cloudy and -2 degrees to start. City News 680 is CFTR AM Toronto. It's 6 o'clock.
Toronto's #1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is City News 680 everywhere.
It's Monday, February 6th. I'm James Monroe.
I'm Slajana Timmins. Here are the top stories this hour.
Ahead of the Prime Minister's meeting with premiers on health care, we're getting new details of the federal offer, including a decade deal with stipulations to ensure money is spent on the public health system.
Thousands of people are dead after a powerful 7.8 magnitude earthquake rocked Turkey and neighboring Syria. It is now a race against time for the rescue workers looking for survivors.
PSWs will soon be allowed to dole out medications to long-term care residents.
Who is going to actually provide proper supervision if we don't even have enough nurses in many of these facilities?
Details coming up.
So it looks like the Raptors will not be involved in a 3-way deal between Brooklyn and Dallas. We have more on that coming up. NHL returns with a 6-game sked tonight. Leafs off until Friday. Sports at 15.
Markets closed lower to start out the week, continuing from Friday's losses, and more losses for tech companies. delays with an announcement coming from Dell Technologies. Business at 26.
City News Time, 6:01.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by Diamond & Diamond Lawyers, Airborne, Kyle.
And flying over Yonge and Eglinton right now. We have a closure of northbound lanes on Yonge Street from Eglinton up to Roehampton. It's a one-block closure. Not exactly sure what the problem is here, but I see a stopped concrete mixer truck that may have struck the traffic light here at Roehampton. We've got police on the scene. Man, there are a lot of concrete mixer trucks in this neighborhood. And it's all for work on condo buildings and across town and everything. There's a lot of infrastructure going in here at Yonge and Eglinton. So northbound lanes are closed for one block from Eglinton to Roehampton. Northbound Yonge is closed, and that's causing a major jam up for well, traffic on Yonge Street in both directions is always slow, but northbound lanes especially heavy back to Davisville right now with this. We've got delays along the 401 eastbound from the 427 to Victoria Park Express to the Kennedy Collectors. At Morningside and the Collectors, the left lane is still blocked with a crash, but no delay. Volume into Durham from West Needham east to Salem. And West 401 volume Markham Road Express, Brickley Collectors to Kennedy, Leslie Express and Collectors to Dixon, 427 to approaching Dixie and the Collectors. From the 680 Traffic Center, Kerry Prunskis.
Southbound on the 404 at Finch, the two right lanes are blocked with a collision. It's busy as you approach Finch, and then delays again southbound 404 DVP from Shepherd to York Mills. The westbound Gardner is a slow go from just west of the DVP to west of Strawn. We still have a couple of stalled vehicles reported on the eastbound QEW, one on the ramp to Trafalgar blocking the right lane, and again on the ramp to Winston Churchill, the right lane is closed. No delays at either spot. It is busy in Mississauga on the eastbound QEW from Mississauga Road to Dixie. And on city streets, Jane is closed in both directions north of Bloor between Colbeck and Arda, and that's for a collision investigation. When it comes to fighting for your rights, there's nothing tougher than a diamond. Call Diamond & Diamond, Canada's largest injury law firm with over 60 lawyers. 1-800-567-HURT. And now with the forecast, here's Jason Fraser.
Well, right now we continue to see mainly clear skies across the GTA, and temperature right now is at worst -2 degrees. Keep in mind that's where we should be for this time of year. So later on tonight, though, when you factor in the wind, it is going to feel closer to -10 degrees. This is all because of those wind gusts near 45 kilometers per hour. Right now in Pearson, we're 2 degrees. Our overnight low tonight -4.
City News Time, 6:03.
Well, ahead of tomorrow's federal-provincial talks to fix Canada's struggling healthcare system, City News has learned tonight details of what the Trudeau government may be offering premiers for a long-term deal.
We're also keeping an eye on the fallout from a devastating earthquake that hit Turkey and Syria. We'll have those details in just a moment.
We begin our coverage with our Parliament Hill reporter, Cormac McSweeney.
A senior government official with knowledge of the offer tells me the feds are proposing a 10-year general increase to the health transfer, as well as a pool of cash that will be used for separate bilateral deals with each province. While we don't have the exact dollar figures for those offers, I'm told there are conditions for the funding, including making sure the money is used for the public health system and not on private health care. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau briefly addressed the talks with reporters.
We'll be there putting more money on the table, but it's also important to make sure that the focus is on results and outcomes for Canadians.
There should also be discussions about improving credentials and licensing for medical professionals, including foreign doctors and nurses. Manitoba Premier Heather Stephenson says they're going into this with an open mind, but see it as a step towards a final agreement, which should come in the weeks ahead.
We want something sooner rather than later.
Premiers have been pushing for the feds to increase their share of health spending from 22 to 35%. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
City News Time, 6:05. There are well in excess of 3,000 people confirmed dead after the powerful 7.8 magnitude earthquake hit Turkey and neighboring Syria earlier today. Struck in the middle of the night while people slept. City's Phil Martino joins us live with the latest. Phil.
James, rescue workers on both sides of the border are searching through metal and concrete for survivors after the earthquake toppled thousands of buildings and trapped residents under mounds of rubble. ABC's James Longman says it's proving very difficult given just the sheer scale of this event.
Just how much of Turkey has been decimated. President Erdogan said this could be the worst quake since the one back in 1939 that killed over 30,000 people.
Tens of thousands have been left homeless. In some areas, people are taking refuge in shopping malls, stadiums, and community centers. Rahul Singh is executive director of Global Medic. He says they're packing thousands of family emergency kits to send to Turkey and
Syria.
So volunteers come in, they pack family emergency kits. The main part is a point-of-use water purification. We add in, hygiene items like toothbrush, toothpaste, most importantly soap, and we put in a solar light as well, so we don't know it has power.
The World Health Organization says it's helping a massive international effort to support Turkey and Syria deal with the devastating damage. From Martino, City News.
City News time 6:06. Toronto police are with a warning that the ice on Toronto waterways is not safe. This after a near disaster earlier today when 3 people were taken to hospital after falling through while skating near the Toronto Islands. Your city's Virjesh Dave.
The Toronto Police Marine Unit saved 3 people from the frigid water near the Toronto Islands. 2 fell through the ice while skating, while the 3rd became submerged trying to help the others. Stacey Kello with the Marine Unit says it was an extremely close call.
These people here today were holding on to a thin layer of ice, and it doesn't take long before your body can't survive anymore, or if that ice was to break free, they would have went straight down.
All 3 people were taken to hospital for hypothermia. None of them had a personal flotation device.
Putting a life jacket over top of your winter gear, that way you can stay on top of the ice and have a chance to be rescued.
Police using the rescue as a wake-up call, warning residents that no ice is safe ice. Important to note as well, the City of Toronto does not test ice thickness or monitor conditions on open bodies of water. For Jesh Dave, City News.
The Port government could soon allow personal support workers to do a lot more in long-term care homes.
PSWs could soon be allowed to administer medication to long-term care residents. The government revealing that in regulatory changes it not long ago posted. It's not sitting well with Vivian Stanithopoulos, a long-term care researcher.
If you're going to expand the scope of personal support workers and, effectively allow them to provide certain non-controlled substances by a delegation of a nurse, well then, my God, you have to have this workforce regulated. It is completely unacceptable that they have been unregulated this far, especially considering they are the lion's share of the entire LTC long-term care workforce.
Other proposed changes to long-term care include increasing the fine for facilities that don't have air conditioning in place by the summer. Those that don't comply could face a $25,000 fine. Richard Southern, City News.
City News time 6:08. The sexual assault investigation involving a Toronto physiotherapist has uncovered more potential victims. Police originally arrested 34-year-old Daniel Pringle in December on 2 counts related to his work at Endeavour Sports Performance and Rehabilitation on Bayview, north of Eglinton. It's alleged that while treating a 14-year-old girl
Met at the Granite Club in 2014. Police have released his photo and work history. We'll check gas next.
Now streaming on City TV Plus, Calling from Accounts, a brand new comedy of the classic story of boy meets girl and a dog.
I hit a dog. Oh my God.
Nuts. 2 single-ish complex humans navigate love and life.
I can't take the dog.
Yes. Well, it's complicated.
We've got this. We don't, but your optimism isn't all.
Calling from Accounts, now streaming on City TV Plus, available with Prime Video channels.
Now the City News gas price update. Emperor predicts no change at midnight, staying at 140.9 a liter.
Listen 3, 4, 5 times a day.
This is City News 680.
Everywhere.
Anchors away. Flight Centre is your cruise made easy centre, with shiploads of offers on amazing cruises to destinations like the Caribbean, Alaska, and Europe. We're your one-stop shop for all your cruising needs. So get on board and call our specialist cruise team now at 1833-987-0144. But hurry, don't let these epic cruise deals sail away.
You're listening to KIDS-FM, Kids Radio, where we play the classics on repeat, like Are We There Yet? And Melody has a pony, why can't I have one? Can I get the sugary cereal, Dad, please? Malcolm just pulled my hair. And your favorite, Mom, I've gotta go potty.
You deserve a vacation. Reward yourself with the Scotiabank Passport Visa Infinite Card and earn up to $1,300 bonus value. Scotiabank, you're richer than you think. Certain assumptions apply. Actual value may vary. Conditions apply.
time 6:11.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by Don Valley North Toyota Airborne. Kyle.
We just flew over this ongoing vehicle fire cleanup on Bayview near Post Road, which is north of Lawrence, northbound Bayview, just the left turn lane blocked as you approach Post Road, right outside the Granite Clubs because of vehicle fire cleanup. Just the vehicle and one police cruiser here. They rolled it out of the left lane, so at least the backup's not too bad anymore. Northbound on Bayview going through this area. Now we're back over Yonge and Eglinton. Northbound Yonge is closed from Eglinton up to Roehampton. We got a concrete mixer truck stopped here. It may have struck a hydro pole or traffic light or something, or a person. We're not exactly sure what the detail is here, but we just know it's a collision, and this concrete mixer truck appears to be involved. So northbound Yonge's closed for 1 block from Eglinton to Roehampton. Southbound traffic is getting through. We've got 401 delays westbound from Leslie, alternately express and collectors to Dixon, and 427 to approaching Dixie and the collectors. Eastbound volume approaching Kipling to Victoria Park Express to Kennedy collectors. Keep an eye out as you go through Morningside collectors. Left lane is still blocked by crews dealing with crash cleanup. No delay though. It does get a little busy in Durham from Westing to east of Salem. From the 680 Traffic Center, Carrie Prunskis.
Southbound on the 404 right at Finch, the 2 right lanes are blocked because of a collision, so it gets bunched up here on the southbound 404 as you approach Finch, and then past that, delays from Shepherd to about York Mills on the southbound DVP. Westbound Gardner, a slow go approaching Jarvis to approaching Strawn, and westbound on the QEW, it's filling in now approaching here Ontario to Mississauga Road, so that's a bit of an unusual delay. We may have a new problem at Mississauga Road, and then past that on the westbound QEW, it's busy from Fort Drive to Trafalgar and from Appleby to Brant. Eastbound on the QEW, on the ramp to Trafalgar, the right lane is blocked with a stalled vehicle. Watch out for another stalled vehicle on the ramp to Winston Churchill. That's blocking the right lane as well. Don Valley North Toyota is a state-of-the-art automotive experience. Visit the showroom or online anytime at DonValleyNorthToyota.com, a division of Wayne's Auto Group. And now with the forecast, here's Jason Fraser.
Well, Gary, we are still seeing clear skies across the